Welcome to the programme. Well, we'll start with that breaking news out of the United States. There has been a verdict in a trial watched by millions around the world. A Virginia jury has found that Amber Heard defamed her ex-husband Johnny Depp and has been ordered to pay $15 million in damages. In a statement, Johnny Depp said the jury had given him his life back. Amber Heard said the disappointment she feels is beyond words. Well, let's go straight to our correspondent Namia Iqbal, who is outside the courtroom in Fairfax, Virginia. I've been watching this over the past hour, Namia. You've been right there. I mean, the first part, let us just get to the point when the jury and the judge came in, everybody was standing up, and then it turned out that the paperwork hadn't been filled out correctly, and out they filed again.
That's right, because the jury of 5 men and 2 women had to also decide what damages they were going to award both individuals. So they had to go away and fill out that part of the verdict sheet and decide what damages. And that led to this whole flurry of speculation, because if you're awarding damages, it means that somebody has won. And then a short while later, they delivered their verdict. And as that verdict was delivered, which ruled in favour of Johnny Depp, the reaction outside court was quite something. You have a lot of Johnny Depp supporters out here. They've been here for the 6-week trial. It has overwhelmingly been in support of him, and they started shouting and yelling and cheering and shouting, "Johnny, Johnny, Johnny." Just to remind you again of what this case was, he brought this 6-week trial, 6-week court case after an opinion piece that Amber Heard wrote in 2018 for the Washington Post, in which she talked about what it was like to be a victim of domestic abuse. She never named him in the article, but he claimed it ruined his career, that it led to reputational damage. So he sued her for $50 million. But here's the bit where it probably slightly gets a bit confusing, in that she brought a counterclaim against him. She claimed that he defamed her when he and his ex-lawyer called her allegations of abuse a hoax. So basically, both of them were suing each other, accusing each other of defaming one another. And so the jury had to decide on both cases today. They delivered 2 verdicts. And in the case of Johnny Depp, they found that Amber Heard did defame him. And that is quite something, because here in America, you have to get over a pretty legal high bar. And they found that Johnny Depp did defame her in elements of hers. But this has been a trial that has captured the minds, I guess, of people in this country. It's been so high profile. My colleague, David Silito, has been looking back at the case and sort of just reminding us of the background of it.
There was the video.
What happened?
The photographs.
Slapped me across the face. And he slapped me again.
And hours of testimony.
He just kicked me in the back. I thought he was the love of my life. He was, but he was also this other thing.
For 6 weeks, Johnny Depp has arrived at court each day to cheers. Amber Heard, silence, and sometimes worse.
Can you please tell the jury why you're here today?
Yes.
The answer to that question was reputation. Johnny Depp, Hollywood star, was trying to prove to the world that his ex-wife's claims of domestic violence were simply untrue. And more than that, he was claiming that he was the real victim.
Miss Heard, in her frustration and in her rage and her anger, she would strike out. She had given me a good chop in the ear, you know. Suddenly, and I said, "Go ahead, hit me." Bam.
And it's not just the fans. This courtroom drama has for millions become daily viewing, and it's clear that from the very beginning it's Johnny Depp that was winning the global PR battle.
Over 6 weeks, Amber Heard had been accused of lying, faking injuries, fabricating evidence. And online?
I receive hundreds of death threats regularly, if not daily. Thousands since this trial has started, people mocking mocking my testimony about being assaulted.
This was a case all about words. Amber Heard's right to say she was a victim of domestic violence, an accusation that Johnny Depp says was simply a lie. He was the victim here, and the jury and much of the watching public has, after hearing it all, believed him.
So some of the background there from David. Well, Nami is going to stay with us, but I just want to bring Johnny Depp's team, speaking his legal team just a few moments ago.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice. Now that the jury has reached its conclusive verdict, it's time to turn the page and look to the future. Thank you all so much, and thanks to the jury.
Thank you so much.
So that was the legal team for Johnny Depp, but no sign of Johnny Depp, Namia?
No, he's not here. He's not even in America. He is believed to be in the UK. A lot of his fans are here, though. They've been here the entire 6-week trial. I did speak to one girl that was here, a teenager, and she said to me that I asked her, why have you come? And she said it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be here, and that's because she is a big Johnny Depp fan, and she had followed the case, interestingly, on social media. And I said to her that Johnny Depp isn't here, and she said that she wasn't disappointed, that she's hoping that he does win. This was, of course, before the verdict. But no, he's not here. He has released a statement, however, in which he has basically said, sorry, I'm just getting the statement up. He has said, he has thanked the jury, he said, for giving me my life back. He says, from the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth, regardless of the outcome. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Amber Heard has also given a long statement in which she says that she is heartbroken by the result of this verdict. So she is obviously here, but she's now left. But no, Johnny Depp wasn't here in court to see him win the case. His lawyers did give a brief statement outside court just a few moments ago.
And just before I let you go, Namia, so it is 15 million that has been ruled in favour of Depp, shall we say. Then there was 2 million, if I have that correct as well, on the counter-suing, in the sense of that some aspects Johnny Depp did defame Amber Heard, but obviously not to the numbers that she was asking.
That's right, and the jury decided those damages, which is why we had a slight delay before
gotcha.
we actually got to the verdict. But for Amber Heard, it doesn't really mean anything, because what she's been awarded, she has to pay him those damages. So for her, it is a loss in that sense as well.
Namia, thank you so much for bringing us up to date outside that courthouse in Fairfax, Virginia. Well, joining me now is Martha Gill. She's columnist at The Observer and has written extensively on this case. Great to have you with us, Martha. You know, Namia was talking to us there a little bit about some of the fans that had turned out for Johnny Depp, even though he is not in the country. And you have experienced that as well. I think some of them that were dubbing themselves the Deppford Wives that were trying to find him when he was in the UK performing at a concert. I mean, how do you understand this verdict? How do you understand that fandom for him? Some that weren't even aware of him before this case.
Yes. So as to the verdict, I think in the way I understand it, in regards to Me Too, for example, this is not a straightforward, even though this is the way that the jury has gone, this is not necessarily a straightforward case of, vindictive liar framing her ex-spouse. There was a previous court case which finds in conflict with this one in the UK, where Johnny Depp was found to be responsible for 12 counts of assault, and the Sun newspaper was awarded the right to call him a wife beater. So this raises the possibility that in fact Johnny Depp was an abuser who has effectively used the courts to sue Amber Heard for defamation, this is a possibility. So that opens up a couple of quite worrying things. One, that other abusers will, if indeed Johnny Depp is, have the possibility of continuing their abuse through the courts by suing their alleged victims for defamation, and it might discourage victims from coming forward. So that's how I find the verdict. But as for the general reaction to the trial itself, that goes above and beyond the verdict. I mean, the efforts to humiliate Amber Heard were industrial. They were all over social media. There were TikTok games, mocking her allegations of abuse and rape. Saturday Night Live mocked her too. And to me, that says there is a huge anxiety about the Me Too movement, and that this is a form of a backlash.
Yes, and indeed, of course, with that case, as we have been reporting, the jury has ruled in favour of Johnny Depp, saying that he was defamed by his ex-wife Amber Heard. But coming to the aspect of Me Too that you bring up there, Martha, your article is Me Too is over if we don't listen to the imperfect victims like Amber Heard. And that you see this as kind of a backlash to the Me Too movement. So perhaps even further ramifications than what has happened in that particular court case.
Yes, I mean, so I think that there was a big anxiety about Me Too, and the figure of Johnny Depp represents that anxiety perfectly. The anxiety was really that any man, even very powerful men who the courts normally treat fairly, could be treated unfairly and brought down at any moment. And I think that is the anxiety that this reaction to this particular case speaks to. But that is a slight misunderstanding of what the Me Too movement was trying to do. I mean, the idea that we should believe women was not, in fact, suggesting that no woman could possibly ever be dishonest. It was an effort to correct a bias that still exists in the courts and still exists elsewhere against believing women. So that's why I think that if indeed this does set back the Me Too movement, which I really suspect that it does, it has been incredibly effective at dismantling it. And a lot of Depp supporters are now suggesting that the Me Too movement has been dismantled by this case. That would be a bad thing, because I think what the Me Too movement was doing was correcting a problem that still exists.
Martha Gill, thanks so much. Her article on Me Too is over if we don't listen to the imperfect victims like Amber Heard, you can find online. Thanks so much for joining us on The Context.